Alright, so after playing Huntress for an insane amount of hours and trying a whole bunch of different builds, I think I found what I believe is the best possible build for her. Now this build is more along the lines of downing survivors so fast that they don't have time to do generators. As you'll see, there's no gen slowdown perks in this, and that's because it's relying on you to be that slowdown. You need to be downing survivors so quickly that you always have two survivors off generators at any given moment. So you have one that's down, and then you have one that's going for the save at any given moment while you're looking for the others with your aura rating procs to harass them. Potentially, the best case scenario, you want 3 people off generators, 1 on hook, 1 going for the save, and 1 being harassed by you currently. You know, obviously you can mix in slugging here and there when you need to, but that's kind of the general gist of this. So first up, we're obviously starting with a staple perk of any Huntress. That's Lethal Pursuer from the Nemesis. At the start of the trial, the auras of all survivors are revealed to you for 9 seconds. Anytime a survivor's aura is shown for a period of time, its duration is increased by 2. So we're not breaking any new ground here. Lethal Pursuer has the highest usage rate on Huntress. I think it's got like a 70% pick rate. The staple of any aura reading build. It works on Glowing Concoction too, which is one of my favorite add-ons, making it a 7-second aura reveal after hitting a survivor with that hatchet instead of 5. Obviously a great pick, and best exemplified and strengthened by using other aura reading perks. And then up next we have Barbecue and Chili from the Cannibal, another staple perk for Huntress. Again, we're not breaking any new ground here, but after hooking a survivor, all other survivors' auras are revealed to you for 5 seconds when they're further than 40 meters from the hook. So 7 seconds with Lethal Pursuer. And the thing about Barbecue and Chili is that when used in tandem with Lethal Pursuer, its lack of information gives you information. For example, you start the match out with Lethal Pursuer, you see 4 auras, that lets you know nobody has distortion. You hook a survivor, you look out in the distance, you only see 2 auras, that lets you know the 3rd survivor is within 40 meters of your current location. So you could check a gen that's nearby to see if they're working on a generator. So yeah, again, not breaking any new ground. These 2 are pretty much used in tandem, but this is where we get a little bit different. Now, another super popular perk you can use, which I don't think is bad, it's definitely a usable perk, is Darkness Revealed. Darkness Revealed just got a buff. Anytime you open a locker, you see the auras of survivors for 8 seconds within 8 meters of every locker on the map. So it's a map wide, no matter the distance. You can open up a locker and a survivor right next to it, you'll see their aura. So it's a great perk. I don't have any problems with it. I just prefer Nowhere to Hide a little bit better, a perk from the night, and there's a few reasons for that. Now, whenever you damage a generator, reveal the aura of all survivors standing within 24 meters of your position for 5 seconds. The standing is irrelevant. Standing, crouching, doesn't matter, right? 5 seconds, 7 with Lethal Pursuer. The aura reveal radius is tied to you, your killer. A lot of people use this on Nurse and Blight because these are hypermobile killers who can cross in a significant amount of the map in 7 seconds. So you kick the generator, you don't see anybody, you start moving in a direction. 6 seconds later, a survivor enters a 24-meter range. You'll get a 1 second aura read on them. The reason why I like this perk so much is when used with the other 2 perks in tandem, Barbecue and Lethal, there's a lot of times you'll find yourself as a Huntress getting a Barbecue and Chili proc, and maybe you throw a cross map or an orbital, or you just can't get any shot at all because it's in a main building or it's surrounded by a bunch of clutter or trees and things like that. You make your way to this survivor because you know, maybe you see just their aura, maybe you see someone else, but you decide to go for them for whatever reason. A lot of times you get to that generator, there's somebody hiding nearby, right? Now, it doesn't happen every single time, but I'd say once or twice per game, you go to a generator and a survivor let off their generator as soon as they heard your terror radius, and they're hiding behind a tree somewhere. Well, if you didn't have Nowhere to Hide, you would see, okay, this survivor's 40 meters away. I hooked a survivor. I'm a 110 killer. Huntress is the least mobile killer in the game. Takes you forever to cross that map, probably 15 to 20 seconds to get to that generator. You get to the generator, you look around a little bit, say 5 seconds, you kick the generator, you know, you look around a little bit more, another 10 seconds, and then you're like, well, I can't find anybody, and then you run another 10, 15 seconds to a generator. Maybe you find somebody, maybe you don't. So that one survivor hiding behind that tree could potentially cost you anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute because you're a 110 killer, and you know, you're looking around, you're like, I know they were here somewhere. Maybe even check a locker, which I wouldn't recommend to do, obviously, but that's where Nowhere to Hide comes into play because you're a super slow killer. You cannot afford downtime. Like, Huntress is one of the most punished killers by downtime. You cannot afford downtime. So this perk comes into play from the night. You kick that generator, you immediately 360, and a lot of times, and I mean a lot of times, I find a survivor crouching 8 meters away behind a rock, 12 meters away behind a rock. And what's especially deadly about this is they're caught out in a dead zone usually, and they don't know you know, because it doesn't let them know their ore is revealed. So you can fake like you don't see them, just kick the generator, run kind of towards them, but like off to the side, or like moonwalk a little in their direction, and then immediately snap on them and hit them with a hatchet, and you can hit them and down them before they can even go anywhere. And this is huge, because now instead of wasting 30 to 60 seconds, you know, it's basically 20 seconds, and then you're immediately in a chase. And if they're hiding behind a rock or something in a dead zone like that, then they're instantly down. So now you got a survivor that's on hook, one going for the rescue, and then one that you just downed, leaving one survivor on generators. This perk is so underrated on her. I don't see, like, its pick rate is very low on her, and I mean, there's reasons for that. Darkness Revealed is map wide. This is definitely more along the lines, I would say, of a comp like Sweat perk, because, you know, Darkness Revealed is mainly for, like, you know, snipe and cross maps and orbitals and stuff like that. It can help in the close range encounters too. It's not like I'm saying, it's not bad by any means whatsoever, but this perk is, you really need pressure. You really need those downs quick. You cannot waste time trying to find survivors. You know, if you kick if you follow a barbecue and chili proc, you kick a generator and you open a locker, if a survivor's hiding, you know, 9-10 meters away behind a rock, you're not gonna pick them up and you're not gonna find them. You'll see other survivors across the map, and maybe you could throw a snipe, so, you know, it's good in that regard. But Nowhere to Hide is really good at catching out cowardly survivors who don't want any confrontation in a dead zone, which ends a chase even faster. So yeah, definitely an S tier perk on her. And then finally, we have Gearhead. This is another very heavily slept on perk on her. I don't know why people don't use it more on her. I think it's just because, you know, it used to be so bad in the past, but now it's a lot better. So this is from Slinger. After a survivor loses a health state by any means, Gearhead activates for 30 seconds. While Gearhead is active, every time a survivor performs a good skill check, their aura is revealed to you for 8 seconds. Again, 10 with Lethal Pursuer. So this perk has no cooldown either. So if you hit a survivor, it goes on the 30-second counter. 25 seconds later, you hit the survivor again, it restarts at 30 again. Like, it starts at 0 and counts to 30 again. So you could literally have this perk active, like if you're just, you know, in some weird scenario where you're hitting survivors back to back to back to back, you could have this perk running for like 3 minutes straight, you know. Obviously the whole team would be right there, so they wouldn't be getting any skill checks, but, you know, this timer will just keep resetting since it doesn't have a cooldown. And that's something about Nowhere to Hide I forgot to mention that I like over Darkness Revealed. Darkness Revealed has a 30-second cooldown. Nowhere to Hide doesn't. You kick a generator, you can instantly run to another generator, kick it, another generator, kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it. So anyways, that's Gearhead is one of the best for cross maps. If you're planning on cross mapping, if you're planning on doing orbitals, Gearhead is borderline a must run. And with Distortion being as widely popular as it is also pretty much a must run, because Gearhead eats stacks so quickly, especially if those Distortion users are gen rushers as well, and they have like hyper focus, stakeout, a toolbox, you know, built to last, things like that. This is really gonna keep all the Distortion tokens at bay. So that's another thing about the Glowing Concoction. Obviously add-ons, you do what you want. This is kind of just a perk thing, but Glowing Concoction anyways consumes a stack of Distortion. So, you know, you get the Lethal Pursuer proc. Well, proc, it doesn't count, you know, that consumes a stack of Distortion. You hit him with a hatchet, another stack of Distortion is gone, and then you hook another survivor, their third stack is gone. And Huntress has a 20-meter terror radius, so she's not gonna be giving back stacks as quickly now, unless you're in a chase. And even when you're in a chase, you can take some of those stacks back by using Glowing Concoction. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video and kind of talk about this. I think this is the best build possible for her. After so long of playing, I just don't like slowdown. I personally don't like kicking generators at all, but this perk helped me to start kicking gens so much, and I've kind of realized the value in kicking generators, because I used to use Darkness Revealed instead of Nowhere to Hide. I used to use Darkness Revealed instead of Nowhere to Hide, and I wouldn't kick gens at all, because I hate kicking gens. I hate pulling off chase. It's just so like boring to me. So I used to run Ruin all the time. I can't stand it right. I always want to be chasing someone. And you know, so, but when Darkness Revealed, when I decided to go the full aura route, Darkness Revealed never encouraged me to kick generators. Nowhere to Hide encourages me to kick generators, obviously, because it can reward you huge and starter generator regressing. And there's been times where I kick gens that are like 80, 90, and then I come back a minute, 2 minutes later, or 3 minutes, whatever, and the gen's at like a half or a quarter. So there is value to kicking gens, even as Huntress, as much as I hate it. And this perk actually rewards you for kicking the generator. So yeah, I like it in that regard. But yeah, that does it for this one. We're gonna do a beginner-friendly Huntress build next. I don't have a match tied to this build because it's literally probably in every single one of my Huntress videos besides the 2v8 one, so I'll just have some, you know, I guess compilation in the background. But yeah, that does it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. I highly suggest everybody try this out, and it'll definitely put you through your paces at first. I know when I first switched to it and I wasn't relying on slowdown, I wasn't doing that great. I was, you know, I mean, I'd win a decent amount still, I'd get a decent amount of ties, I'd lose here and there. But now, if I use slowdown perks, I feel like I lose more. So yeah, but that does it for this one. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.